Spectral time. I like to set it up on this mode. So basically what a spectral time is doing is it's dividing the frequency spectrum into specific amount of bands. Low resolution is low amount of bands, high or ultra resolution is the high amount of bands. So ultra is gonna give you the most closest sound to the original while allowing you to use these effects on it as well. You can hear, I don't know how to explain it, but you can hear like sort of like bars inside the sound. Frequency spectrum is divided into like wider bars. Like it literally sounds like resolution. It gets more detailed at an ultra resolution. If you like, for example, use spray, it's capable of recreating the sound in almost one-to-one way while allowing you to use these effects. And on low, it's very, you know, low quality. It does not mean at all that the ultra is the best, because for different sounds, different resolutions give you different results. And I usually use the mid one. The high one is if I need more details. The ultra one is I almost don't use it at all. Very rare scenarios because I don't need that high resolution, and mostly I want this to give some sort of effect. So there's many things that you can do with this, and I'm gonna be telling you just like from top of my head, like different things. The main thing I use it for is the smoothing. This one's a nice example. Some sounds have this crunchy top end. It's like crunchy, crackly, and a nice way to smoothen that out is to use spectral time and to use the spray option. But I'm gonna isolate top so to show you what I'm referring to. See that kind of like crackly? Now it gets pretty annoying. So all you gotta do is to use the spray option here and just load it up with these settings. I don't think those are the default settings. Those are, I think, the settings that I set up that you can copy and set up as default settings, because like I use it mostly for smoothing. All you gotta do, set this up this way and have the spray go up basically. See, it smoothens the sound. And now here's where you gotta choose the resolution. So low gives you sort of like a pipe sound. It may not be the greatest. If you want to retain more details in the high one, it's nice. The ultra, yeah, that may be the best in this case. The low one requires not much spray. The spray starts working earlier, like already right here. But the ultra one has like you gotta like do more of it. See, like you can hear it here. While if you go low, that's like already a strong effects. Here it gives a nice effect like 60 in this case, but here's the problem with this. Like if you go 60 milliseconds right here, what happens is that the whole sound is getting delayed by 60 milliseconds. Enabled is not really much of a problem. Played from here versus without it, this difference here. It's delayed like somewhere like here. It exactly matches 60 milliseconds. Easy thing you can do with this is to go here, type the exact amount of the delay that's visible in spectral time, but do the negative of it, minus 60. And it starts from the bottom. So that's the problem on higher millisecond levels, but on the lower ones, not really problems. And also it creates a little bit of a fade in as well. You gotta take into consideration if you don't want the fade in, you gotta like tweak it in a different way. And if you're getting either fade in that you don't want, or you're getting too much of the crunchiness, what you can do is you can do the mask. If you go to the left, it gives you more of that crunchiness. So simply all you got is to find a sweet spot there. So the mask, if you go to the left, it reduces the effect of these two, tilt and spray, to lower frequencies, and if you go to the right, it reduces this to higher frequencies. But I find it to be the opposite kind of way, because I've been usually pulling this to the left side to get more of the top end. I don't know, that's what works. That's nice. And also, you gotta keep in mind that these spray effects, you have to mess around with different positioning of this button, because they are going to give you a different sound, but like, I don't know how to explain it. That's hard to notice on like the ultra resolution, but if you go to mid, for example, or low, let's go low. See how it changes the tone? I'm going to show you an example of a sound I made in the past that I just tweaked the spray amount and it gave me different result. It's the same sound, but the only difference is the spray note, it has a different amount. Number two thing you can do with the spectral time is you can use tilt to create liquidy, but also lasery stuff. Liquidy kind of magical even. Let me change the stupid sound, bro. That's a cool one for this stuff. Okay, so tilt. This is without. Right, with. Remember when I told you that the resolution is kind of like, don't always go for ultra because it's not gonna always give you the best result? In this case, for example, if you go like tilt like this, it sounds great on an ultra, but if you go to low, you would think normally that it's going to divide the spectrum in wider bands, so you're basically gonna get these portions of the sound, but this sound is being constructed like the portions of the sound going from the top to bottom. Like different blocks, like... You know what I mean? You would think normally that if you go to low, those blocks are going to be bigger, basically speaking, but in this case, you're getting smoother sound. And now, this is just mind-blowing stuff. We have the tilt. We're gonna add the spray in a second, but we have the tilt. And remember what I told you about the mask? The mask is the amount of tilt and spray for the low and high frequencies. So if you set it up right now to, let's say, here. You're getting this like, you know what I mean? Type of sound. And also that has an effect on the spray, so... The mid one kind of sounds the best. You know, you have to go through all these to find the one that just works the best. So this goes this way, goes from top to bottom, and then if you go to the right way, it fades in. So that's the thing, but also obviously go with the tilt to the left. You are getting the laser. This is like AU5 shit. As I told you before, spray is gonna give you different tones. This just works like a delay. But on lower ones and higher feedback, just like a normal delay would give you, the normal delay is gonna give you go really low and go feedback really high. Gives you this. Okay, let's go for some chords. Go like 9 voices, let's say. That is really muddy, like holy hell. So this is nice for chords as well. The spray option gives you this sort of like phasey, filtered, nice, magical type of chords. Which again, at different positions, is gonna give you different tone, but sort of pitch. Or more like emphasis on a specific harmonic. Or it just gives you like a type of thing. This one doesn't have it. Keep it at this. And you can balance the spectrum with the mask. Which gives you more swimming, magical tones. Okay, I have to do this because it just sounds disgusting. Reduce it slightly on the sides and just decrease it. So it's not so muddy. Okay. Here. Really choir-like and magical, which raw chords don't give you. So that changes the texture, makes it more magical, flowing, sort of like liquidy or like watery ocean vibes, you know? And sounds like a woman singing there, but there's no woman there, it's just super sauce. It's really 9 duplicates of the same song and just positioned differently in the stereo space of just different tuning, and that's it. But the spectral time makes it so that it sounds like a woman in a choir. Underwater siren type of deal, you know? When it comes to chords, it's a lot about changing the voicings, and you can do this by moving the spray mainly, and then the mask also helps with that. Right, this is more neutral. This has that top end that's like glorious. This is more like an, again, like an ocean. This one is more like mesmerizing. So there are different emotional tones in those. You just have to find the one that fits song that you're making the most or the one that you like the most. It may be pretty detailed, but you can definitely hear this. You can definitely feel this primarily. In this case, you can clearly hear that low resolution is actually low. And the mid one works the best. Feedback gives you emphasis. On the high end specifically in this case, but it depends on the time. Position and on the spray. But it can give you an emphasis on a specific part of the sound's frequency spectrum. In this case, this is more like a pad thing, right? So you can go make it magical with the tilt option. This sounds nice too. Kind of has like more crunch. My question is, I have not tried this yet, is if we go tilt like this and do like 3 times. That's pretty cool. That's cool. You have the freezer here if you like need it. You know what I think about it, right? I changed my mind. Sounds cool. Nice for pads, but you gotta be careful because it's gotta be like really metallic and resonating. If I'm thinking it right in my head, we do this and time it right. Yep, we get stuff like that. That's cool. So this is manual re-triggering, right? So, but the re-trigger option does exactly the same thing, but there's a basically transient detection, right? So it detects all these, and it just gets turned on automatically. Fading options, so you can fade it in. It's gonna be like really tight right now. This one is cool actually, the re-triggering option. Do like this, and then you can tweak these ones. So you get really nice effects like this. You can put it on drums, but you gotta be careful. It gives you sort of like an MP3 type of degrading sound, you know, just like degrading it is to just take a shower too often, you know what I mean? But you gotta be careful if you use spray on this. You're getting this fade in, but it also cuts down the quality. So you have to be careful. The degrading, even though it loses quality, it can still sound quality, it can still sound nice. See, this is nice in this case because it adds this fade in before the transients. See, this does not exist in here. Like it's added here, which is nice. Like you don't have to do this because normally you would have to, let's say, go here, duplicate it, reverse, and you would have kind of the same thing, like the ending of it. Kind of same. But with this, it just does it on its own for all the things. But it's also nice because it doesn't make the elements so sharp. So you can have the percussion be softened because it adds this fade, so it softens the sharp, ticky transients. It's cool, you just gotta be careful because it's gonna decrease the quality. So you'll have to clean it afterwards with EQ and stuff. But this is really cool if you go mask to one of those extremes. It gets like juicy in this case and softer. It's cool. It retains the transients because it doesn't affect the Yep, it doesn't affect the lows so much in this case. I'm sure this description of this is reversed. There's more high on the left side, not right side. So you're getting this kind of flowing background where you're retaining the transit. So it's still a drum loop, because without this, you know, it's like a flowing garbage, but with the mask, you're still getting this nice kind of spectral, liquidy kind of digital stuff. So this is cool because you're getting a shaker and the kick and snare are not getting touched. Kind of a cheat code. Because normally we need to separate these into two different ones and process them separately. But that does not happen because we are not affecting the lows so much. You get like a little riser here. Or you can just use it without the mask, obviously. It slaps as well, but on the ultra, because low it's gonna be like liquidy. Unless you want it this way. Yeah, so this is Spectral Time, ladies and gentlemen. Super powerful effect, super unique, and it's built in. So that's what I do in Spectral Time. That's what you can do in Spectral Time. Hope the video was helpful. Check out Oversampled.us. Have a great day. See you soon.
This video has been brought to you by Oversampled.us, premium sample and preset packs. Sound selection is very important, and we always aim at creating the highest quality sounds possible to help you make professional songs in as easy as drag and drop way with no extra processing needed. We're offering sounds in many different genres. Our most loved packs are the Ultimate Future-Based Toolkit, Cyberpack, Polychrome, and Super Heavy Drums. If you want to sound like your favorite artists, we have packs like Volcano, Castles, Portify, and Resurrection. And if you're in need of quality drums for your songs, don't look any further than our Super Heavy collection with over 2,800 samples in total if purchased in a bundle that will cover all your drum needs. Our most recent pack is sound enhancers, including lots of ear candies, fillers, layers, and more, all to make your songs more interesting. Visit oversampled.us and get sounds that'll make you a better producer.